In the old universities of Germany and Austria, a unique tradition emerged, the Mensur, or academic fencing. It wasn't about anger or victory, but a formal test of character among elite student fraternities. Young men stood face to face, swords in hand, to prove discipline and courage. The scars left behind became lifelong symbols of this passage. To be marked by the Mensur was to be set apart, a badge of belonging and a legacy that echoed beyond university walls. The Mensur was a ritualized duel. Opponents stood fixed, sword arms only moving, governed by strict rules. They wielded the Schläger, a sharp blade for cutting, not stabbing. Heavy gear protected the body, but faces were left exposed. The goal, to land a clean cut, to draw blood, and to leave a mark. Dangerous, yet precise. Seconds enforced the rules. A doctor stood ready. Winning was irrelevant. Composure and courage mattered most. The Mensur tested will, not skill, a ceremony of discipline and endurance. Its scars proved you faced danger without flinching. This was the education of the elite. The most visible result of the Mensur was the dueling scar. Far from a disfigurement, it was a badge of honor, instantly identifying its bearer as a member of an elite. The scar told a story of discipline, courage, and belonging. In 19th century Germany, it opened doors and commanded respect. It was a silent signal of status, valued in law, government, and the military. The scar marked a man as someone formed by tradition and sacrifice. Receiving it was a test of will, standing still as the blade approached, enduring the pain, and accepting the mark. The healing process became a time of reflection, the scar, a permanent reminder. It was a source of pride, distinguishing the bearer from the uninitiated. That was even seen as attractive, a sign of masculinity and high status. In a society that prized military virtues, it was a civilian's battle wound. The scar embodied ideals of hardened manhood and elite identity. It was more than a mark, it was a symbol of having passed a trial by steel. There was the visible proof of a man's place in the ruling class. As universities opened to the middle class, the Mensur became a tool for preserving exclusivity. Only the most prestigious fraternities practiced it, using the ritual as a barrier to entry. The ordeal repelled those who valued safety and comfort, attracting only those willing to embrace an older code of honor. The Mensur forged a powerful group identity. Scars became a secret language of belonging. Those marked by the duel formed an inner circle, a parallel aristocracy defined by willingness to shed blood for honor. This exclusivity shaped the future elite, judges, ministers, generals, who carried fraternity values into positions of power. The Mensur perpetuated a culture of discipline, hierarchy, and loyalty. The scar was a visible guarantee of reliability and shared ideals. The tradition's social gatekeeping had lasting effects on German leadership. The Mensur was not just a ritual, but a mechanism for forging and maintaining a ruling class. It ensured that leadership remained in the hands of those who had proven themselves by the blade. The tradition's influence extended far beyond the university. The Mensur's legacy was a society shaped by its scars. The Mensur's values found a natural home in the German military, especially among officers. The dueling scar became a respected symbol, marking its bearer as disciplined, courageous, and loyal to a higher code. Many senior officers were former fraternity members, recognizing the as proof of shared training. The scar functioned as an informal credential, suggesting readiness for the hardships of war. The Mensur was seen as peacetime training for the soul, teaching obedience, endurance, and composure under threat. These were the very qualities demanded of officers in battle. The prestige of the scar was so great that some men faked it, desperate for its status. The signified membership in the ruling elite, a man who understood the unwritten rules of power. The dueling hall was a forge for future leaders, both civilian and military. The Mensur's influence shaped the German officer corps for generations. The scar was more than a wound. It was a symbol of leadership and belonging. The values of the Mensur marched with its bearers onto the battlefield. The Mensur instilled stoicism, teaching men to suppress emotion, endure pain, and value discipline above all. This mindset shaped a generation of leaders, carried from university halls to the trenches of World War I. Officers trained by the Mensur stood firm under fire, accepting wounds as part of duty. The duel's lessons in endurance and obedience translated into military command. The ritual taught men to follow rigid codes, even in danger, creating leaders who were brave but sometimes inflexible. The acceptance of ritualized violence may have made the horrors of modern war easier to bear. The scar marked a man prepared for a world of conflict. The Mensur reinforced respect for authority and hierarchy, habits that served the military and bureaucracy well. The tradition produced officials who followed orders efficiently, sometimes at the cost of empathy. The men forged by the Mensur became the backbone of a system built on order and discipline. Their character was shaped by ritual, their leadership by the ordeal of the blade. The Mensur's legacy was a generation ready for the demands of total war. The scars they bore were marks of a hardened, disciplined elite. World War II brought crisis to the Mensur tradition. The Nazis first admired, then suppressed the fraternities, dissolving them into a unified student league. The Mensur survived only in secret, its central role in university life broken. After 1945, Allied authorities banned the tradition, seeing it as part of a dangerous past. In post-war Germany, the dueling scar lost its prestige, becoming a symbol of discredited values. Yet the tradition did not vanish entirely. Some fraternities revived the Mensur, now practiced in secrecy and without social advantage. The scar no longer opened doors. It marked membership in a subculture apart from the mainstream. Today, academic fencing survives in a handful of fraternities in Germany and Austria. For some, it remains a method of character building. For others, an outdated and brutal ritual. The meaning of the Mensur and its scar has been transformed. What was once a ticket to power is now a sign of living by the codes of a vanished world. The tradition's legacy is now one of controversy and nostalgia. The Mensur endures, but its place in society has changed forever. Its scars are now marks of tradition, not status. The Mensur is more than a historical curiosity. It reveals how rituals shape societies and their leaders. The dueling scar was a mark of honor, courage, and status, etched onto the faces of the elite. The Mensur's legacy is complex, courage and discipline, but also elitism and a romanticization of violence. Its story asks us to reflect on what we value in our leaders and how we shape them.